Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Blake here with another beginner's guitar lesson. Wherever you are, whether you're in lockdown, hope you're taking care of yourself. And today I'm going to cover what chords are in a key, and we're going to focus on C major, playing chords in the open positions. In case you're new to the series, I've already covered notes up and down the fretboard, how to find them and how to remember where they are, and also what notes are present in the major scale. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, I'd advise you go and watch the videos and they'll help you out to understand this one. Okay, so to help you out, just as a quick reminder, starting on the first note of the scale, in this case C major, so the C on the 8th fret of the bass E string, we move up tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Now, as I mentioned last time, we keep this order of intervals regardless of which note we start on. But the unusual thing about C major is that it doesn't have any non-natural notes in the scale. We have the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B and C. And from each one of these notes we can actually make a chord as well. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major and A minor. And here's what they sound like. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then the penultimate chord, the one before the C that comes back, so the 7th one, the one that would be on B in this case, is called a minor flat 5. Now in this video I'm not going to show you how to play a minor flat 5 because it's quite an unusual chord. You only really see them in strange chord progressions or jazz, so we're not going to bother with that, but we're going to cover the other chords, so here are those. Okay, so the first chord we're going to cover is C major, the one that comes from the first note of the scale. And here's how we play it. We take our first finger, we place it on the first fret of the B string, playing a C. The bottom string, in other words the highest string, this E string here, is played open, giving us an E note. Play this note also open, giving us a G. We put our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, also giving us an E. And we put our 3rd finger here on the 3rd fret of the A string, giving us a C. Once you've made the shape, play all of the strings apart from the bass E string up here. That's what it should sound like, quite bright, quite a happy chord, the C major chord. So at this point you might wonder what makes this a major chord. Well, if we look at what we're playing and we go back to the major scale, we said that the major scale has the notes C, D, E, which we say we're playing the chord, F, G, which again we play in the chord, A, B and C. So the only notes we play are the C, the E and the G. Now the distance between the C and the G is what's known as a perfect fifth. So the G is the 5th note of the scale, so we can know that by counting. So C, D, E, F, G. And the E is the 3rd note of the scale. Now importantly, the distance between C and E is 2 full tones. So in other words, if I was to start at C here on the 8th fret, so if I was to start at C here on the 8th fret and want to move up to E, I'd have to move up 4 frets to the E here on the bass E string. So that's 2 whole tones. Remember we said a tone is 2 frets. Now that's important because that's what's called a major 3rd interval. If we wanted to play a minor 3rd interval, the thing that makes minor chords sound sad is that the 3rd is lowered by 1 semitone or 1 fret. So if I played that instead from the C to the E flat with the G, those notes together would instead give me a C minor chord. So here's how to play D minor. We take our first finger and we put it on the first fret of the bass E string down here. So that's an F note. We take our middle finger and we put it on the second fret of the G string, so not the one in between but the G string here, and we take our third finger and we put it on the third fret of the B string. So this one on the G string gives us an A, and this one here on the B string gives us a D. And then we also play this open D string here. So we have the notes D, A, D again, and F. So a combination of the notes D, F and A will give us a D minor. And again that makes sense. So if we go to the D major scale, here on the 10th fret of the bass E string, then what we see is our notes are D, E, and then we have an F sharp, but of course we're wanting to play the D minor rather than the D major. So we don't want to play F sharp, we want to play F instead. So in the D minor chord we're playing D, the minor third which is the F, and A notes, and together they make up the D minor chord. That being a perfect fifth from the D, the 10th fret on the E string, to the A, the 12th fret on the A string, it stays the same distance away for major and minor chords. So here's what that should sound like. You can hear that minor tonal quality, it sounds much more down compared to the C major chord, which is much more bright and uplifting. So next up, remember it goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then the minor flat 5 that we're not thinking about at the moment. So the next up is another minor. In this case, because we're in C, it's E minor. And here's what that looks like. So the E minor is a really simple chord. We just take our two fingers, our index finger and our middle finger, we put them both on the second fret. The index finger on the second fret of the A string here, and the middle finger on the second fret of the D string here. And we play all of the strings. And the notes that we are playing are E on the bass E string, then we're playing B on the A string, then E on the D string, G on the G string, it's open, B on the B string, it's open, and again E on the high E string. And that's an E minor chord. So F major is played like this. We take our third finger, we place it on the third fret of the D string. Okay, and this gives us an F. We then take our middle finger, we place it on the second fret of the G string. This gives us an A. And we take our first finger and we try and press it down on both of the first frets. So the first fret of the B string and of the high E string. So the B string giving us a C at this note, and the E string at the bottom giving us an F at this note. And we will play only these four strings, so the D, the G, the B and the E string. And as I've kind of just talked about there, the notes in the F major chord are F, A and C. And here's how that chord sounds. So here's the most common way of playing a G major chord. We take our middle finger and we put it on the third fret of the bass E string. That gives us a G note. We take our first finger and we put it on the second fret of the A string. That gives us a B note. And we take either our third or our little finger, I prefer doing it with my third, and we put it on the third fret of the high E string, which also gives us a G. So the notes we're playing in total, we play all of the strings, is G, B, D, G, B, G. One other thing to mention, there's one other way we can do this. We can do the same thing, but we can also fret the 3rd fret of the B string, as that is also a D. And you hear it as a slightly different tone compared to this G. Okay, so we've got major, minor, minor, major, major, and we need one more minor in the key of C major, that is the A minor. So the 6th note of the C major scale. And here's how that's played. So to play an A minor chord, we take our first finger, we place it on the 1st fret of the B string, gives us a C. We take our middle finger and we place it on the 2nd fret of the D string to give us an E. And we take our 3rd finger, we place it also on the 2nd fret but of the G string here to give us an A. We play all of the strings apart from, we don't play this bass E string. And so the notes that we're playing are A, C and E. So A on this string here, E here, A here, C here, and E on the highest string here. And so here's what that sounds like. Okay, so we've covered all of the commonly encountered chords within the C major scale. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major and A minor. Alright, so finally I'm going to give you a song example that you can play along to, and it'll help you get the chord changes down. There will be a link to the tab in the description below, so click on that and that'll help you remember the order of the chords if you need it. This is Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Now I usually play this with finger picking, so going from the A string and down and back up like this. And I'll show you that at the end of the video, but here is a simple strumming pattern that you can use for any beginners watching. So we're starting with a C, and we're going to go down, down, up, up. And it goes like this. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor 4, the major lift, baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Okay folks, thanks very much for watching my video. Hope this helped you learn the chords that are in the key of C, and hopefully you can practice along with the song. If you liked it, please drop me a like, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, take care of yourself.